Hello and welcome back. We have Pioneer deck tech again, and this time we're going to explore the black and green colors in the form of an aggro deck. It's called this one just plainly Golgari Aggro by Tral 90, one of the top finishers from a recent MTGO event, which I found on MTG top 8 list. So if you take a quick look, it seems to be like just a combination, or let's say a Golgari version of the vehicles deck, but this time we have some elements of graveyard and spot removals, and also the option of Carnage Creator, which is also adapt in the mono green devotion deck. So we're going to do a quick rundown of the list. So we have discard spells or Thoughtseize. We have draw. Where do you call this one draw? Let me just check the categories. Okay, we have the types. Okay, that's somewhat fixed that up. So we have 6 artifacts, 4 of which is, or basically all of them can be activated into creature threats. 8 instants in the form of course Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay. So this is again back in the format in which we can be countered and can destroy a non-permanent with convert mana cost 0 or less. For the creature lineup, we have 16. So this is looking to be just ramping up with these cards, and then curving into a Chariot, and also into your card creator. 22 lands to support the mana base. Again, with only Karn as the 4 planeswalkers in the list, and Thoughtseize to make sure that we can get rid of the best threats from your opponent as early as turn 1. So you can check here, the sideboard is mainly composed of the one-offs, as you can have the option, which we will also discuss in a bit. But for now, we're going to take a look at the creature lineup. It's pretty much composed of the 8-1 drops in the form of the Elvish Mystic, which is also added here in 4 copies of Planetary Elves, that making sure that 1 drop is highly probable with these mana creatures, and also curving up as early as turn 2 with these 3 drops in Lisa Sunslayer and Graveyard Trespasser, though those cards mostly rhymes in the name. So again, let's take a look at Lisa Sunslayer. This is from Pariksha All-1 card. This is just a Golgari 3 to cast for 3/3 and a very powerful ability in combat with first strike and death touch. And it's also bonus that whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you can choose one. You can draw a card, lose 1 life. That's basically a card draw effect. You can destroy target enchantment if there are any enchantment that's relevant to destroy, and you can remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. That's plainly from planeswalkers or those creatures that rely on plus on counters. You can just basically remove them and make them back to their original power and toughness. So that also depends on any situations wherein you would have these options that deals combat damage triggers would happen. But the important thing is that we can have this one as 4 copies, so that you can curve out early with just turn 1 Mystic or turn 2 Lisa Sunslayer, and your other option here for the 3 drop, which can also be done in second turn with the mana dude, is Graveyard Trespasser. So this is still a powerful 3 drop or 2 drop in this sense in this deck, and also in Pioneer format, which can get rid of any graveyard shenanigans, as well as get you a bonus to become a 4/4 whenever it becomes night. So 4 copies of that along with Lisa to make sure that you have an early turn attacker. And then later on, you can curve out with Esca Chariot, as you can see in the build of red-green vehicles. It's very efficient and can just go wide by creating multiple copies of these creature tokens, specifically on these 2/2 green cat creature tokens. So in support with that, we have also 2 copies of Reconer Bankbuster. This is just also a good card draw curve. You can just cast this one turn 2, cast a Glisa, and then crew this one to attack for 4, or later on you can just pay 2 to activate this to remove these charge counters and then draw a card, and can later on become a producing a token, treasure token, in a 1/1 colorless pilot creature that can crew this vehicle into another threat. So with that on the artifact and your creatures, that's mainly your options here in the deck, as your probably your main ways to win. You're gonna have again Thoughtseize to make sure that you can discard these relevant cards from them, know their game plan, and also adjust your gameplay according to what's left on their hand, if you be able to get the best card at the time. So again, we are going to explore what the Karn the Great Creator does in this deck. So activated abilities where artifacts your opponent's control can be activated. This is a very strong passive ability in certain good matchups, and then you can have this one to +1 until your next turn. Up to one target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power or toughness is equal to its converted mana cost. So there are situations that you can have your vehicles become an artifact creature depending on the situation wherein you would need, for example, to attack for an additional damage, but you have no ways to crew that artifact. Then you can just use Karn's ability. And you have also this option to -2 its loyalty counters. You may choose an artifact card you own from outside the game or in exile, and that reveal that card and put it in your hand. So again, with these options, we have this list, probably a list of the sideboards that can fix and get from Karn's -2 ability. But before we go to that, we're just going to take a look at our land lineup. This is mostly composed of these cards that can fix for black and green mana. Also channel lands with Busiju Woundjors, so this is only a copy. Darkmoor Pathways, Basic Forest. Also Manlands are also available here with Hybrid Eye Tyrant for 1 copy, 2 copies of Lair of the Hydra, and also more fixing with Manor Waste, Overgrown Tomb plus a Shockland for 4 copies, and of course basic lands, and again another channel land with a single copy of Orberg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Now for the artifact options that you can fetch from your sideboard through Karn, and one of which is Torment Script that can basically cast for 0 and exile your opponent's graveyard. 2 copies of Duress, so this is mostly for the sideboarded options. A copy of Fitting Needles that can name most probably Planeswalkers such as Preferi, Hero of Dominaria, so that you would be able to activate its ability. These 2 copies of Reinforcement, obviously for mono-white humans or soldiers in the metagame, and 1 copy of Dumping Spear. This is also goes with the Lotus Bloom or Lotus Field decks in the format. 1 copy of Go for the Toad, just an added spot removal. So this is another card to fetch. Also Rashi Bomb. This is for fetching up to destroy each non-permanent equal to the mana cost of the charge counters. And another option is the Stone Brain. This is just a way to also exile by naming a card name and then exile them from your opponent's hand, library, or graveyard for up to 4 copies of that. And last but not the least is Weather Runestone as your option to also fetch, in which non-permanents and graveyards from libraries can enter the battlefield, and players can cast spells from graveyard or libraries. That pertains to cards like Green Sun Senate or Court of Calling, and also with Collected Company and Tukasha's something that is also available in the Angels deck. So with that, we also remind that we have also a companion card in the form of Giganta the Wellspring. The only drawback here is that no card in your starting hand or starting deck has more than 1 of the same mana symbol in the mana cost. Now for the said mana cost, its average 2.21 surprisingly is very low for that build, pertaining that you can still have a long game in these cards of Esca Chariot, Karn the Creator, and Soul the sideboard. And also for other options here, which you can fetch, is the copy of Sky Sovereign. So this is also encored in the RG Vehicles deck, wherein you can have this one as a lone attacker and probably just very effective when conditioned. Can also kill off your possible attacker creatures from your opponent with the 3 damage effects that when it enters the battlefield or attack, and it's also very cheap to crew for only 3 power in total to be able to crew. And the other option here that can also be fetched is the Mindstone and the Weakstone. You can have this one to do this ability to draw 2 cards another spot removal when -1, -5, and then you can have this one as to add mana for any reason that you would need. And last but not the least is copy of Noxious Gearhawk, in which is also considered to be an artifact, but in this setup it is an artifact creature with menace that has its ability that enters the battlefield. You can destroy another target creature and you gain life equal to its toughness. A very good target, given that it's also only 6 to cast. With this ability of that card, you can just fetch it out early on and use your mana dudes to cast him early as possible and deal off your opponent's threats. At the same time, have a 5/4 menace attacker in your field. And that, the deck stats would also go with equally, because of 20 for black and green, the same amount, but the producers are more green with 26 and black for 17. Also, the last part is your extra cards, your tokens. The cut token for Isaka Chariot, Pilot, and Treasure for Reckoner Bankbuster. So I guess that's pretty much it for this deck. If you have seen this one or faced, or maybe you're playing this one in MTGO, just let me know in the comments below what are your inputs or insights on how this deck would perform. It's looking to be like a hybrid for that of RG vehicles and mono green devotion. At the same time, the power of black with Thoughtseize, spot removals, Engraver Trespasser to help you out with your advantage, your matchups in the Pioneer format. So I guess that's about it, guys, for this wrap up of this deck tech Golgari Aggro by Thal90 for another video of our Pioneer deck tech video series in this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, notifications bell, so that we can make sure that you can be the first to know once we get also to upload future videos about more deck tech and updates, maybe from recent Pioneer tournament results. We can see it online or also from physical tournaments that is done worldwide. Again, guys, thank you for checking out this video and see you on the next one.